It's showtime, folks. Welcome in, Chase and Big Joe, 1025 The Game, live at the beautiful Omni Nashville Hotel here at Kitchen Notes on this Thursday. Hope you're having a great start to your day. He's Big Joe Dubin. I'm Chase McCabe, Dr. Crane, Nick Frazier on the ones and twos back at the house. What's up?
You know what? Just a beautiful day. And I'm going to all right, let's get it out of the way. John Robinson's going to join us at 10 o'clock today here at the Omni Nashville Hotel. And everything's on the table. We're just going to let you know right now everything's on the table, and we'll talk about that later during the show. Here's my question to you, Chase. This is a non-sports question, but it's one that bugs me. Our good friend Katie Morgan yesterday tweeted out that tomorrow we're not in the 90s. It's going to be in the 80s, lows in the upper, yada, yada, yada. So I quote tweeted her and said, give me this instead of January.
Yeah.
And it took off with people like, you are insane. And the other half like, absolutely. Where do you stand on this issue?
So basically you're asking, do you like
what we've been going through?
Or hot?
Yeah.
That's a good question. So when I was younger, like I was all about summer. Like I love summer but I think that was because I'm out of school and
right?
There's the pool and all that stuff. As I've gotten older, my thing is you can put on as many layers as you want.
Sure.
You can only take off so many.
Okay. It's not an answer.
I'm going to say I probably well, can I
no, I need an answer.
I don't want 20.
But here's the deal. If the extreme is in the upper 90s, then I'm talking in the teens.
Yeah.
For 30 days in the teens. Would you take that?
No.
No, you wouldn't.
No.
Because you're smart.
No.
And you people who say you would, you're savages. And I'll be circling back around in January to give you hell, like the hell you've been giving us. I'll take this all day because we know it doesn't last. But I'm just curious where people lie. Do you like this, or do you want the teens?
Yeah.
Because this is the extreme. Yeah. This isn't a normal summer. Or do you want the extreme that happens? So I'm just curious.
So as Joe mentioned, former Titans general manager John Robinson is going to join us here at the Omni today. I will tell you that, look, we're going to ask the questions. I don't know what I do know there are certain things he can't talk about. And there's certain things that he doesn't want to talk about. And I'm going to respect that. I've, always had a good relationship with John, but I told him, I said, look, if we're going to do this, there are certain things that we're going to have to bring up. So,
right.
And so he's nice enough with his time that he's going to come down and hang out with us. So we'll see what happens. I know a lot of you have questions and stuff. I am going to say this, and I'm going to say this to his face. I think there's a lot of stuff he gets blamed for that's unfair. But at the same time, I think that there are moves that he made as the general manager that were the wrong moves. I think he made right moves.
Yeah.
But I think some of the criticism is warranted, but some isn't, if that makes sense.
It does. All right. So we're not, look, there's a lot of things he did wrong, a lot of things he did good. We're going to get hit all of them today. But remember, he took over a football team that was 2-14, was the worst team in the league, and they had the second pick. It wasn't his fault. When he came in 2016, they had the number one pick in the draft.
Yep.
It was not his fault. New GM, traded out of it, got Conklin. That 16 draft, it's fantastic. Kevin Dodd sucked. You missed on that one. But Conklin was good. Byard was good. Derrick Henry was good. There's another guy from that draft that's still playing, I think.
Austin Johnson.
Is that who it is? Or Daquan?
Daquan Jones?
Daquan Jones, yeah. I think he was still playing.
Actually, both may still be playing.
So that's a great draft. 17, you had Corey Davis, and then the dude from USC that went to Dory Jackson, right, with the schwa at the end. Or the accent grave, whatever it's called, the E. The slash over the E. So, I mean, and then they were fine, and the question was like, well, did Davis go that high? Look, he was fine. He contributed. 18 sucked, Rashaan Evans. Probably want that one back. But you hit on Harold Landry. You only had 4 picks in that draft. 19, you had AJ and Simmons.
Yep.
And then 20, 21 and 22.
Yeah. So, again, that's on the table. We'll have that conversation with him. We'll get his thoughts on kind of the NFL now. I think what Joe Rexrode asked us to ask him is a fair question of like, are you wanting to, what's next? What do you want to do now? So we will cover all that. But I hope I know, I don't hope, I know that everyone's going to get something out of this. That this will be a good interview.
So kudos to you. I mean, you did all the legwork and groundwork. You worked on this for a long time. You get all the accolades for doing this. Let me ask you this: is this, when you're talking to him, is this a mea culpa tour?
I don't know. I think maybe to an extent. That might. I mean, that's a good question for him. I don't know. I mean, I feel like that there's definitely been reflection with him. Which, I mean, I think anybody would go through that. Like,
Yeah.
when you did something, you were just so deep in it, and then you're not anymore. And you back away and you kind of think and like, okay, well, would I've done this differently or would I've done that differently? I can tell you something that he might say is, it's kind of like a play. If you have a bad play, you want the bad play back. Okay. So, I mean, I think to an extent, because all I know is he did Good Morning Football as like a host,
right?
And then I think he's done a podcast. Did he do a podcast with Hutton?
Something like that, yes. Yeah.
So he hasn't really done anything local.
Right. So let me ask you that. I'm acting like you're John Robinson. When he goes and interviews for another GM job, these are the same questions. If I'm a president of football operations,
I would think, but
I would
don't
ask
know.
you what happened. What happened to Isaiah? Why do you think Isaiah Wilson went sideways? Why do you think Caleb Farley went sideways? What made you see Traylon Burks? Why was he the guy? Were you not prepared when that all went down to have a default plan in place to go? And how did that go down? Were you told when you went to your owner?
Was Caleb all right? So Caleb Farley was 21.
Yes.
So that was after the AJ trade.
No, AJ trade came in April of 22.
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And then, what you had said you weren't going to trade him. And, then you go, how did that all, what's the genesis of all that? Did you go to the owner and say, look, here's what we got a problem here? Did she tell you to do this?
That's where I think you're going to get
well, he will be asked.
Right.
And if his reply, I mean, that's fine.
Yeah.
But, somebody said on my Facebook account, and by the way, some of y'all are just insane.
are now blaming us.
Y'all are insane. Somebody's like, I'm not going to listen because it feels like you're putting J-Rob on the stand and you're going to hammer him. And I'm like, no, this is a couple of guys just talking. This isn't Woodward and Bernstein at Watergate. We're not going to try to take down the government. We're not doing that. It's we know John for years, and this is going to be just an interview. That's it. And
well, and one thing I am going to ask him is, what does it say? Because a lot of people, because seeing the replies the last few days kind of made me think of something. Everybody's like, nobody cares about the Titans. Titans fans care about the Titans.
Absolutely they do.
Because the passion and the vitriol that has been in my news feed the last few days about having him on, like, is, I mean, crazy, but also like, hey, it shows you care. And this fan base cares.
They do care, and that's why all the attention now is on.
And I care. Like I when we were talking the other day, I said, look, I didn't get into this to be a journalist. I'm a fan, and so like I go through this every day as a fan.
Right. In the words of the honky tonk man, you're no journalist, Gene Bean.
Well, I'm not. I don't pretend to be. Like, I don't want to be. That's why I laugh when people are like, well, it's your job. You have no effing idea what my job is.
Right.
Like, it's just like, I love that. That it's like, well, your job is like, I don't know what your job is,
but I know what your job is.
Like, I am a data analyst for,
Bank of America.
For Bank of America.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell that is or what that does.
Well, the thing, so if you out there, if you want to ask, send to the text line. I mean, we might get to a few of those. We might get to more than a few of those. If they come in, it's like, oh, I didn't think about that. 615-737-1025. Let us know. I mean, we're all doing this together. I mean, it's not like this is the big, like, oh, look at those guys. We're all going to do this together. You're all going to listen to it. We're all going to be waiting on his answer and everything.
And here's the other thing. They're going to be, after the interview is done, There are going to be people that say, "Hey, good job, guys. Really enjoyed that." There are going to be people that are like, "You guys suck."
I get that every day.
Like, you
I get
guys
that-
didn't
I get
ask
that at
this.
home.
You didn't ask that.
That's fine. I
Get
all
that from the
stuff.
lady at Kroger.
That's right. I do that.
Now I know the thing you really want to bring up with him is T. Graham Brown or Morgan Wallen, right?
It was
What'd you say?
gosh, Merle Haggard or
Merle
Morgan
Haggard.
Wallen. Yeah.
Morgan Wallen.
We're gonna ask the musical taste. Who does he prefer, Merle Haggard or Morgan Wallen? Which one? Let us know.
Yeah,
to do all that. I don't know, but it'll be fun. And then so we, I don't know, how much he watches football. I'm sure he does. I mean, a football guy's a football guy.
Let me ask you this question, and I wish I could ask him to his face, but unfortunately I can't because Floyd is no longer with us. But do you think if Twitter had been around when Floyd got let go, that the vitriol that John gets would have been the same towards Floyd?
Not even close.
But
not even close.
Okay, but the only big difference in the resume is Floyd got a team to the Super Bowl. John got him to the AFC Championship game. But that's really if you think about the resume,
Right.
that's really the only big difference. Now, Floyd was there longer. Floyd had to move a team. There's a lot of other little things there too. It's not apples to apples. But I'm just saying, when you talk about like the accomplishments,
Right.
they're similar.
That's a good point. But that early Titans team was Nashville's team.
Yeah.
Everybody grew up with that, like Super Bowl. We never experienced that before. Exciting games at Nissan Stadium. Never experienced that before, ever. So I think when Floyd was gone, I was like, it's kind of time and all that. I think now.
See, I didn't. I mean, and I obviously like Jeff too. But
sure.
Because I mean, I think them together was better than them apart.
I think everything, Chase, revolves around the A.J. Brown trade.
Yeah.
Every single thing, because the tentacles off of that.
But again, I'll continue to, it's a good back and forth. I remember as a kid when the day that they announced Derek Mason, Kevin Carter, Joe Nedney, Samari Roll, I was like, what the hell is Floyd Reese doing?
Yeah.
Because and obviously that was when we all got introduced to the salary cap penalties and the cap casualties, whatever. Right. But I kind of looked at that as, what is he doing? And I think a lot of fans did. Again, different.
Yeah, 20 years ago, right? But we all remember, just because of what A.J. Brown, what's like, he came in, the team was doing good, and then he's going to Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And you're like, what happened here? And I think it all happened so fast.
Well,
and then A.J. goes and does what he does. He's been to 2 Super Bowls, win 1. And people are like, oh, man, he should have been. And so A.J. Brown will always haunt this franchise. And that's my thing. I want to know, and I've told you this, when he went to Amy and said, what do we do here? I want to know what, we probably will never find out. But I'm telling you, he had to run it up the flagpole. You have to.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened from then on?
Yeah, I know. It went through, but Floyd had to run it up the flagpole too. That's what I'm saying. Again, there are a lot of similarities. I mean, Floyd told on this station the story of when Bud made him lock McNair out of the facility. I mean, now Amy hasn't been that extreme yet, but the last name definitely.
Yeah. So when Floyd had to lock McNair out, it was Bud.
Correct.
So we know the AJ thing. We know, but we don't know until we know.
I feel pretty confident.
Yes. Right. And so all that went on, but it's still, I mean, it's like the Vince Young draft choice. I mean, it's like, we knew that was Bud's guy. It was Bud's deal. Bud wanted that guy.
Is my guy.
He was my guy. And all that went on. Anyway, we'll find at 10 o'clock. John will join us, and we'll start. We'll go from there.
615-737-1025. That's our phone and text line. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. We are live at the Omni Nashville Hotel at Kitchen Notes. Coming up next, did Cam Ward have a better day yesterday? I don't really know. We'll discuss that. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game. Big Joe 1025, the game. On this Thursday, we're live at Kitchen Notes at the Omni Nashville Hotel on July 31st, which is a great day. You know why it's a great day?
Because football's here.
Because it is my mother's birthday.
Oh, okay.
So happy birthday to my mother.
We waited 20 minutes to tell Carol happy birthday?
Well, I had to make sure she was listening.
Okay. All right. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
I will tell you this, and I'll tell you, Dr. Crane, this. Cherish your mother's birthdays as much as you can.
Yep.
I will tell you that right now.
100%.
Because my mother passed away. Thanksgiving didn't bother me. Christmas didn't bother me. It was my birthday that bothered me and my mom's birthday that really bothered me.
That's kind of how it's been with my dad and with grandparents and all of that. Excuse me. But happy birthday, Mom. So I will see you later.
That a boy.
It will be a good time. So yesterday, I know we're
we try to eat as much as we can during the break.
Yeah, it's literally like
I'm so sorry.
John Robinson joins us now. But yesterday, I didn't think. I mean, I thought he was a little bit better, but I was listening on my way back from camp. I was listening to Derek and Willie's breakdown of Cam Ward, and I mean, I think what people have to understand is this kid. I mean, there's just a lot. There's a lot more differences between the college game and the pro game that people realize.
Yeah,
like that step from college to pro is a lot bigger than well, they run a pro style offense or it's different because you're truly going from playing against big boys to grown men.
You are, and that's why I think it is so. If you're a Titans fan, love football, listening to Derek Mason talk about training camp practice from his perspective is fascinating because you and me and Willie, we don't know. I mean, we watch, we see things, but to actually be in the arena. And then, Derek's making good points about throwing over his back foot, low balls, and just the adjustments of things that go on. It's fascinating. But I was out there Tuesday. He looked terrible.
Yeah.
He looked terrible. I'll be honest. Cam Ward looked up, but it's training camp practice, right?
Right.
Paul had a good point today, Kowarski, that Cam had said, I'm doing things out there I normally wouldn't do in the game. All right, we're a month out from the football game. Why are you doing that now? Why are you trying to have fun? You should be doing that in OTAs. Shouldn't you be learning to do things you're going to do in the game? It's a great point that Paul had. So I think that's what Cam Ward needs to work on instead of taking chances that you're not going to do in a game. You're just wasting time.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. I go back to remember I think I asked this right before training camp. If they let us come for the first day and then we weren't there for 6 weeks, now we'd have nothing to talk about.
Right.
But how good that almost might be, because then you walk in right before the season and you look at him and you're like, man, holy cow, he's come a long way since that first day.
Or the problem was during OTAs, remember the clips we got from the Titans?
Oh, yeah. They're all the good stuff.
He looks really like Spider-Man rolling out and throwing the ball 87 yards on a rope and all that. And so you kind of drunk with the soon-to-be success of all that. It makes you feel good. And look at the throw he's making. Then you realize gets out there and Jeffrey Simmons bull rushes Corey Levin up his ass, and then he can't go anywhere. And then Cam Ward's like, oh, my God, what's happening? And then you're like, all right, here comes the adjustment, what you got to do, what you got to happen in your career and make things happen and move around. It's a different ball game. He'll get there, right? I mean, he'll get there. But it didn't have a good day that day. Sometimes we don't have good days, and that happens.
That's true. Sometimes there's good days. Sometimes there's
bad
days.
I'm not going to talk about it.
But what you got to do is get yourself, pull yourself up when you fall down.
Or as my coach used to scream at us, hey, if what you did yesterday still looks good today, you haven't done much. God, I've heard that a billion times.
Was that a coach?
Yeah. Say, what you did yesterday? And then he would go, and he's like, at the very end of every practice, he's like, remember 3 things. You don't embarrass your team, you don't embarrass the program, and you don't embarrass your mom. I was like, oh my God. He said it so much I wanted to go out and embarrass my team, family, and mom, which I ended up doing.
Yeah, I was about to say, did you actually do that?
I took that to heart, down the line. Oh God.
I can only imagine.
You know, it's funny. I asked Derek Mason, I said, because he played with Ray Lewis all those years. I said, was there ever a point in the locker room you're like, Ray, just shut up? Just shut up.
What
he's
Derek
like,
say?
He's like, every day. Every day
So-
we'd sit and laugh.
So true story. Like when Derek first started working with us full time, and I was producing. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, we're gonna get Ray Lewis. We're gonna get, like
Ed Reed.
the Ray Rice stuff has just started, and we did get Ed. Like Ed Reed came on, Samari came on, and I'm like, I'm just waiting for Ray Lewis, and Derek like one day is like, man, I'll try, but I really got tired of hearing him all the time.
Oh, I can only imagine. I said, did you ever watch his dance come out? He's like, never. Didn't watch it dance at all. I was too busy worried about the game coming up.
Yep. I mean, we did. We had Billick on. There was one year that we actually went around team to team and did previews, and he got John Harbaugh.
Oh, good.
And that was how we previewed the Ravens was John
What
Harbaugh.
was the Billick thing? Remember he had the famous line about when they beat the Titans at Nissan Stadium?
The Titans?
Yeah, something like And they used to play it in Nissan Stadium all the time. And Billick, I mean, there was some pure hatred.
Oh yeah,
there on and off the field between the Ravens and the Titans.
Yeah, I think some of that's been fixed now, but it happened.
I mean, because you look. The 2000 season, and I've got this list we'll do another time. The best football teams in your franchise that never won the Super Bowl that should have. The 2000 Titans are that team.
That's the best. Yeah.
That's the best team ever been in the city. And the Ravens beat them. Then 03, the Titans beat the Ravens up there. 08, the Ravens come here and beat the Titans. And then in 19, the Titans go up there and beat the Ravens. 20, Lamar Jackson runs past the guy that ran his mouth. I wanted to shut up. Kenny Vaccaro.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he ran past him. I was like, yeah, Kenny, you need to just go ahead and take care.
Okay, so the top 3 Titans teams in history since they've been here. 2000 is number 1.
Yep.
Would you go 21 or 08?
Probably 08. They were good. You had Albert,
that
Bosch,
D-line was nasty.
Chris Johnson, and they had no receivers. Justin Gage was your guy. They had no receivers.
Right.
But you had Tony Brown, Javon Curse, Albert, and Van Bosch.
Yeah.
Were just
Tony Brown's kind of the forgotten guy on that line.
Destroying people. I mean, they were destroying people. I saw when they played the Packers, I thought they had they killed Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Because they pounded him. I think David Carr was playing for the Panthers. I thought David Carr was dead. I mean, that's how hard they were hitting the quarterbacks. But then I'd go 21, that team.
Yeah. So that's the top 3.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that.
They were really good. 19 was just 99 and 19 were surprises. Did not think they were going to do that at all. Thought they might be decent. And then they were like, wow. I mean, and the most surprising team that's ever been here besides 99, the 17 team. Nobody saw that happening.
When they beat Kansas City.
Yeah, because remember, they were 14 and 15, these Titans teams were terrible. 16, they got, and we'll give credit to John Robinson, they turned that culture around. I mean, it was going good. 17, then they go and they beat Kansas City. That was Alex Smith's last game because Mahomes started in 18. Then they go up to 14-0 on the Patriots.
Yep.
Up in New England, and then Brady them rallied afterwards. So I would say the 17 team was a team that really surprised me.
615-737-1025. Again, John Robinson will join us at the top of the hour. Colton Herta, IndyCar driver, is going to be racing in Nashville at the end of the month. Will join us right before that at 9:45.
All right, I have a serious problem with the NFL Network or their training camp coverage. And if you stick around, you'll understand why, and you'll agree with me. I've got a serious problem with that, and I'll tell you what it is next.
Joe's Rant next here on Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game. Chase a Big Joe, 102.5 The Game. Is this Travis Tritt day?
I hope so.
what
Love
we're
Travis
going
Tritt.
Travis
him-
Tritt Thursday.
I have seen him 3 times now. He's fantastic.
He is. I mean, he's country club.
I smell
What-
T-R-O-U.
What's the one? I don't love you anymore.
That will bring, this is your line, will bring a tear to a glass eye.
In that video, heck yeah, man. Max's name riding around that wheelchair. I mean, that's a great video. All right, so my rant. I can't sleep at night because I'm on this stupid medicine because my A1C is higher than Willie Nelson. So I do this. So I watch NFL Network. What's going around? They're at Pittsburgh Steelers camp yesterday. It's Brian Baldinger, which I love. I think he is a underrated analyst. I think he's massively underrated. They're at Pittsburgh Steelers camp. When we go to Titans camp, we are told repeatedly that we can't do this, we can't talk about that, we can't show this, we can't show that. Yet the NFL Network goes to Pittsburgh Steelers camp. I'm seeing every formation. I'm seeing trick plays. I'm seeing guys line up here and there. They're talking about Jonnu Smith and how he's going to come out of the backfield some and play an H-back role. Watch him do this and do that. I don't – where's the disconnect? Am I missing something?
What's the first 3 letters in that network name?
Yeah, NFL. Yeah. But I'm watching if I am as nervous as most coaches are and worried about everything getting out, I'm not letting them show the practice at all. I'm not letting them do that. I saw so much of Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf and Jonnu Smith yesterday and TJ Watt and the defensive lineup. Hell, they showed special teams and how they're working on a different angle to block the punt. I'm like, this is fascinating. Thank you for my scouting report. I'd have my intern staff or video staff, when they go to an opponent like the Broncos, I would have them devouring, if I'm the Titans, anything Broncos related right now on NFL Network. Secondary to that, the Rams, because that's game number 2. But I'd have the Broncos. When they go to Broncos camp, if they show what they did yesterday for the Steelers, hell, that's your scouting report. Everything is there for that. If I'm the Titans or an NFL team, I'm like, hey, same rules should apply. You can only show so much and then get out of here.
It's the NFL Network. I mean, that's why. I agree with you. I think everything you said is valid, but I mean, that's a part of why they exist, is to show you things that you can't get anywhere else.
Yep. I just think it was like, oh, then what? They're
is
not
ESPN buying them or something?
I don't know. Maybe.
NFL Network is buying a small portion of ESPN.
Or ESPN's buying a small portion of that.
Yeah, I don't think it's it. I think ESPN's buying a small portion of NFL Network. I think that's what it is.
Interesting.
Yeah, Dr. Crane.
Yeah, hang on.
So, and just anyway, I thought it was very...
Oh, no, Dr. Crane's right.
Oh!
1984 no longer.
I apologize. I apologize, Dr. Crane. NFL will acquire up to 10% of ESPN as part of NFL media deal.
What does 10% mean?
I don't know. You get to go into the meeting. I don't know.
I talk about your hero all the time, Jerry Jones. We bought the Cowboys in '89. You know how much of the Cowboys he bought?
Yeah, he didn't buy them all right away.
What did he? How much did he buy the Cowboys? Not for how much? How much percentage did he give the Cowboys?
Wasn't it like 49? Was it 51?
51%.
51 that gave him majority.
And then he bought the other 3 out.
Yeah.
So you want majority of that. So I don't know what 10% gets.
What did he pay?
I have no idea. He'd get $10 billion for that right now, easily. Probably more than that.
Okay. Holy crap.
Oh no, yeah. I have no idea what this is.
In 1989, Jerry Jones paid $140 million for his portion of the Cowboys.
So basically, the team was worth about $250. If he paid 51%, roughly, about $250 million. What could he sell it for today?
He purchased the Cowboys from H.R. Bumbright for $140 million, equivalent to $300 million in 2023. Soon after the purchase, that's when he fired Landry. Wow.
Which was
$140 million. Yeah. So now they're worth at least $10 billion.
At least. I mean, that's the bottom, like being nice, very conservative.
Are they the richest franchise or have the highest value of any sports franchise?
I don't know. I don't concern myself with the premier soccer league. I could care less about that.
But it does count.
North America. I mean, of the big 3, Yeah. It's got, I mean, Yankees, them. What would the
Oh, yeah,
Lakers
the
go for
Yankees.
10 million or 10 billion?
Yeah, I think so.
So, I mean, it's the iconic franchises. You could buy 55 Miami Marlins franchises for that.
The Cowboys are valued at 10.1 billion.
Okay.
This is in 2024. The Golden State Warriors valued at 8.8. Then the Rams at 7.6. The Yankees at 7.55. The Knicks at 7.5. Patriots at 7.4. The Giants at 7.3. Lakers at 7.1. Jets at 6.9. And Niners at 6.8.
So that list is kind of invalid because the Lakers were
Yeah.
sold for
Again, that's the value.
Yeah.
It's what they go for. Like everybody, like we talk about the Titans, I think they're valued at like 4, 3.5, 4, something like that. She would get 6.
You think so?
Yes. It's an
6
NFL franchise.
billion for that.
If you find the right rich guy.
Right, which is not us.
And the other thing too is
Could be you though. You got money somewhere.
No, not like I don't have that much money. But here's the thing. You can probably count on 2 hands the number of people in the world that could go stroke a check for an NFL team without any help.
Yeah,
I mean, now it's groups. It's ownership groups.
Yeah.
Because the values are just so high.
Does the Oracle guy own Golden State? Did I
so.
see that? And they're building. I mean, they've taken over the top golf area here in Nashville.
Joe Lacob?
Dubin. They've taken over top golf that area. That's Oracle. That's all Oracle. So there's all that money they got there. Maybe they bring Golden State to Nashville. I'm kidding. You got a brand new arena in San Francisco.
I was about to say that arena is
brand new. It's interesting. The Yankees aren't up. I like the Red Sox and Cubs. I mean, it's the iconic franchises that are up there. But if somebody paid $6 billion for the Titans, I think they need their head examined.
I think it would be hilarious if they did.
What franchise is worth the least, do you think?
In
Carolina? NFL? Would it be? I'm trying to think.
Probably.
Market and just not success-wise. I think it would be one of those.
Yeah, because, I mean, people might go, well, what about the Browns? I think the Browns are, I mean, they're they're an iconic franchise.
I think it's a top 5 fan base. But people love the Browns. I think the more they'll never get to the Super Bowl, the more people
love
the
Lions?
No. I think the Lions are good with the Ford family. I think the Lions, there's a lot of
Matthew says it has to be Cleveland. I don't think so.
No. The team that's worth the less amount of value right now.
Hair Metal Henry says Larry Elson will buy the Titans. I don't know who that is.
I don't know. I'm afraid to look. It's probably some adult film star.
Arizona or Jacksonville?
Oh, well, yeah. Jacksonville. I'm sorry. Yeah, there we go.
Probably one of those.
At the list. Yep.
Let's see. I was looking for something. Let's go real quick to the phones. Rob wants to weigh in on most expensive franchise. Rob, what's up?
Hey, good morning. I just wanted to I know that you guys were talking about North America, but in the world, Manchester United, according to Fortune magazine, is the #1 rated franchise.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And
how much? Do you know how much?
I don't. But you know, it's a fluctuating number, but certainly the Yankees and yeah.
Well, hold on. It says right now, Forbes says that it's worth $6.6 billion.
6.6 billion.
Manchester United is currently valued at $6.6 billion, making the second most valuable soccer club in the world, according to Forbes.
What's the #1?
A pop-up ad. That's what I got right there. It is. I don't know. It's just giving me the #2. It doesn't say what number. Dr. Crane, would you know?
Yes, it's Real Madrid.
Oh, really?
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Crane.
You're welcome.
Thanks for the call, Rob. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Rob.
Right. We'll see you. Bye.
Coming up next, IndyCar driver Colton Herta going to join us. I actually think he's here and going to join us for a second and talk about the Bruschetta Bourbon Music City Grand Prix coming up this week or coming up at the end of the month. What is so funny? The Nashville Super Speedway.
Like, oh, God, he's here.
No, that wasn't it at all. We will talk with him. And then John Robinson at the top of the hour. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 1025 The Game here on this Thursday. As we get ready for the Bruschetta Bourbon Music City Grand Prix coming to the Nashville Super Speedway August 30th and the 31st, the defending winner of that race, Colton Herta, is here with us. Colton, what's up, man? How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing all right. You having some fun in Nashville?
Yes, love it out here.
Yeah. How many? I mean, obviously you've raced here, you raced on the streets, and then you last year that street race, man. Was that what 21? Where you almost won?
21.
Yeah.
Yeah, fortunately crashed out.
That was
running second.
That was
Still stings.
Yeah, well, I'm sure. But Nashville, obviously, a racing town and a lot of fun. I know that you're excited to get out to the Super Speedway to end the season.
Yeah,
at the end of the month.
It's going to be awesome. I love coming here. You know, I loved it as a street race. I love it as an oval race. We've had success on both. So, you know, for me, just like getting out to the city and being able to race cars out here.
Had you ever been to the Nashville Super Speedway before last year?
Not that I can remember. There might have been a time where my dad was racing an IndyCar when they were here or in the early 2000s that I might have come for, but I don't remember.
What's it like, you know, kind of following in dad's footsteps in that and having a nice career of your own?
I would say I'm very lucky. You know, I think when you're young, kind of everybody wants to do what their parents do. And I think I was lucky in the sense that my dad had a really cool job that I was able to really fall in love with and ended up being good at it.
Is there extra pressure in IndyCar when you run for a team that has the name Andretti on it?
I think there's a little bit of an expectancy, you know, to be able to perform. You know, this is a team that kind of demands results, right? They have a huge budget. You know, they are one of the top programs. So I think pressure in that sense, but there's also so much pressure that we put on ourselves because we want to do well inside the driver's seat. Yeah.
Colton Herta is with us. So what has this year been like? Because there's one guy that has just had a remarkable year in Alex Palou that, I mean, I know that you guys are competitive. There are other teams that are competitive. Obviously, a couple of guys have won as well, but he has been so dominant. What's it like having to go up against him every week?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we've been really good on Fridays and Saturdays. You know, for the past few weeks, we've been better on Sundays, but early on in the season, we didn't have it all together on Sundays, and we had too many mistakes, and unfortunately, that kind of led to a huge gap in points for us. But you know, I think to see what Alex is doing, he's having, you know, definitely the best season that I can think of in the modern era, and it's definitely going to go down as one of the greatest seasons ever in IndyCar. But you know, for us at this point of the year, it's all about winning races. You know, we've got 3 races left: Portland, Milwaukee, and then wrapping up here in Nashville. And you know, this is 3 good chances for us, 3 good tracks that we've had success at in the past to be able to go out there and win.
Winning is obviously the goal and fun, but what would a win in one of those 3 races, or obviously you'd love to take them all, what would that do for the confidence of you and your team going into next year?
I mean, that's what it's all about now, right? It's winning for ourselves and to put us into a better place for next year, because the championship's just too far out of reach for us this year. So, you know, I think that's what the goal is, what the focus is. It's kind of an all-out blitz and trying to win races. And like you said, it is a confidence builder. It's a nice thing to go into the off season with. It was great last year. Obviously, finishing second in the championship was awesome. But winning the last race, it just kind of makes your life so much easier going into the off season.
Colton Herta is with us. I have been to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for a Rolling Stones concert, but I've never been for a race, IndyCar or NASCAR. Can you truly put into words just kind of the mystique when you were walking through Gasoline Alley on the morning of the Indy 500?
No, I cannot. It's incredible. I think it's hard to kind of articulate how, like, what 350,000 people is like. It's insane. Even in the mornings, like, people are lining up at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. to get into the track, and the place the stands are already full by like 9 a.m. and the race doesn't even start till like noon or 1. So, you know, to walk out, that walk is amazing. You know, we usually walk out about 30-40 minutes before race time and get out there and get going. And, you know, the walk like you said, through Gasoline Alley, and then it opens up into the racetrack, and just to see the stands, how full they are, and the energy, and obviously there's a lot of butterflies at that moment, and a lot of excitement to get going, and it's cool. Man, it just makes the stakes higher. When you have a big race like that, and so many people are invested in it and interested in it, and it gets us fired up even more.
I think that, watching some of the crossover stuff with IndyCar and NASCAR, Kyle Larson running the double the last 2 years is a good thing for both series. I mean, obviously it's going to put eyes on you guys that maybe haven't been there and vice versa.
Right.
When do you think we could see somebody that's an IndyCar regular try and do it? And I know
Yeah.
the jump might be a little bit different with the car, but
Yeah.
I think that would be cool, whether it's a you or a Joseph Newgarden or somebody like that.
I would love to try it at some point. The biggest thing is when those guys are coming over to Indy, we do like the 2 weeks of practice.
Correct. Right.
So it really gets you kind of in touch and in tune with the car. It would be harder for us to go the other way, right? Because it's just uh, obviously it's just Charlotte, and they just qualify,
Yeah.
Saturday, race Sunday. So you would want a little bit of a testing program to lead up into it, at least for me,
Sure.
just because it's such a different discipline. If those guys were to just come over and race in an IndyCar race, they would get whooped, and vice
Yeah,
versa.
sure.
If we were to just hop into a NASCAR race, we would get whooped. So I think we're each really good at what we do, but there is a bridge and there is a way to make it strong and have a good performance. There's plenty of times like Robbie Gordon, Tony Stewart was
Yeah.
one of the first ones to do the double from being an IndyCar driver
Right.
originally to NASCAR. And, there has been a lot of guys that have had success, but it's a tough one. So what is it? 1,100 miles in one day.
Yeah.
It's a lot of driving.
Yeah. What was kind of the reception like for Kyle Larson last year, when he did it for the first time of, here's a guy that's a champion in his sport coming over here trying this. Now he's a rookie.
I think everybody was excited. The fans were definitely excited. For us, it was interesting. I think everybody's really intrigued about how it was going to turn out, like what he was going to be able to do. I think when we get on track, he's just like any other driver, right? Just try to beat him. But it was interesting because of his background, and his background isn't even right. Like he's a Cup driver, but he does so many other things, and he's he does so much on dirt, and he's so talented in that aspect that if there's any NASCAR guy that could do it or should do it, it was definitely him.
All right, so give me the sales pitch here for somebody. I've been to IndyCar races, but if someone's never seen you guys live,
Right.
what they're in for at the Nashville Super Speedway, August 30th and August 31st.
Yeah. High action, high stakes racing. I love that you guys in Nashville get to experience a short oval or a semi-short oval super speedway. For us, it's 200 miles an hour, inches away from each other, inches off the ground. In NASCAR, you might see them top out at 200, but we're in the corners at 200, and these cars are hauling the mail, especially at this track in Nashville. It's a good city to be in for an IndyCar race.
Well, we're looking forward to it. Colton, thanks for doing this. Nice to meet you, and good luck defending your race win from last year.
Thanks so much.
Colton Herta joining us here on the program, IndyCar driver, who will be at the Nashville Super Speedway for the Bruschetta Bourbon Music City Grand Prix coming up August 30th through the 31st at Nashville Super Speedway. MusicCityGP.com. That's where you can get your tickets. Former Titans general manager John Robinson joins us next here on Chasing Big Joe. Hour number 2, Chase and Big Joe, 102.5 The Game on this Thursday, live at Kitchen Notes at the Omni Nashville Hotel. And it is time. We have promised it. He is here. He's ready to go. Former Titans general manager John Robinson. I think people thought that Joe was going to be like, yeah, no, we said John Robinson. We're talking about this guy that worked down at the quick
Some
set.
rando.
Yeah. But he's here and hanging out with us. How the heck are you? It's been a minute.
I'm good, man. Appreciate you guys reaching out. Chase, you pestered me long enough, and you finally sweetened the deal with a hundo.
Yeah.
And am I going to get that in 20s or like a crisp? I'm just kidding.
He didn't bribe me. Whatever works.
He didn't bribe me, guys.
Look, when we talked the other day, I mean, you were always the thing that I always appreciated about you, and I think you knew that you're building a program is kind of how it was, that you were always available, and you'd come on as a general manager and talk to us and kind of help us through the process. Now, would you tell everything? Of course not. I think Floyd taught you well,
yeah,
and Bill Belichick and others, but you were always available, and that's something with what we do that's always appreciative, and so we thank you for that. For always being that way.
And to just kind of piggyback on that, I think probably one of the things. I mean, we had. We'll get into some of it, and I'll be able to talk about some stuff and some stuff I can't talk about. But I think one of the things that I'm most proud of looking back, I mean, we won a lot of football games, won playoff games, all that stuff's really cool. But the impact that you can have on people, and when the fourth equipment guy stays in contact with me and checks in on me, how you doing, or the fifth trainer, because I treated those people in the organization the same way I treated the Derrick Henrys or the Ryan Tannehills. Like, we were all there. We had our own specific roles of what we were supposed to do to try to put the program in a good spot. But I try to treat everybody the same way. And I'm appreciative that they felt that and that they would reach back out to me, after I was out.
Right. Well, I'll start with a simple question. We're sitting here today having this conversation. You've had a lot of time to reflect the last couple of years and everything. Why do you think that we're sitting here today and that you're not at training camp?
I guess probably if I could have bought some mulligans, like before the golf tournament, you can pay for those mulligans. I probably would have bought a handful of those. I think at the end of the day, let me first lead off with I'm extremely appreciative of Amy, of Kenneth, of Barkley, of the Adams family for taking a chance on a hayseed from West Tennessee and giving me an opportunity to do what. That's not the ambulance coming for me. By the way, guys.
Not yet.
Not yet. Yeah.
Why is that ambulance two-tone blue?
But I'm extreme. I mean, they certainly changed my life and my family's life for the opportunity. But at the end of the day, I was charged with managing decisions as it related to on the field stuff, and I didn't do my job well enough at times, and that's what happens. And again, certainly some things I would love to have back. A lot of things that I'm extremely proud of that we were able to do in my time there. But that's the way it goes, There's only one perfect man that ever walked this earth, and none of us will ever be that. But our purpose is to try to strive to be like him as much as we can.
I think one thing that's interesting to me is, and I've known this, but it was reminded of me when we announced you were coming on, and the response from the fan base, some good, some bad, some in the middle. But it showed me that, like, when people want to say that nobody cares about the Titans, that is false. This fan base is bought in and loves that football team.
Oh, yeah.
How much did you feel that when you were there? I mean, how much have you felt it now of whether fairly or unfairly you get blamed for certain things when you kind of see the reaction of the fan base to this team?
Yeah, I think Titans fans are extremely passionate about their football team, right? When the team moved here in the late 90s and rolled right out of the gate, and Mike Keith's calling plays, and you can see it and you can feel it in the stadium. You can see it and feel it in the away stadiums. I'll never forget when we played Green Bay here. I think it was 2017, and it was packed full of Packers fans. And the loyal Titans fans just stuck around after we took them to the woodshed, and I think the Packers fans walked back across the pedestrian bridge and drank every single beer in Broadway. I think literally Broadway ran out of beer about mid-third quarter. And the fans that stayed there and were like just amped up in the fourth quarter when it was over and we were walking off, like that's how or when you're playing on the road in Jacksonville or Houston or Indy or wherever, and you look up in the fans and you see the two-tone blue crew up there, and they're loyal, So I think that's the NFL in general.
Mm-hmm.
That's with every team. But when you work for the team, like when I worked for the Titans, it was really special to see, the two-tone blue in the stadium wherever we played, there to support us.
John, in the spring, you had a great 21 season. Go, the number one seed. I know it hurts losing the Bengals. You go to the 22 season. You get word that A.J. Brown is going to ask for a new contract.
Here we go, Joe. Right out the gate.
Sorry, you knew. How did that start? And then the negotiation, and then once that happened, did you have to run it up the flagpole and say, "Look, our receiver wants an extension. What do we do here?"
I brought gauze and Band-Aids, so if you cut me off, I'll mend up. No, that's a topic everybody probably is tuning in to hear about, and I can't as I would love to give in the details. I can't go into the details on it, but there was just a lot of discussion that went into that decision. Ultimately, it was my responsibility to make the decision, and again, if I had one of those mulligans, I would probably do that. And that's nothing against Traylon or anybody else, but I think AJ's went on to have a great run. I'm proud of him. I'm proud of where he's at, and what he's been able to accomplish. But sure, in hindsight, if you had a do-over, I'd be an idiot to sit here and say, no, I'd do it again. Like, no, you'd do it different. But we made the decision that we made, and then, the rest is what it is.
When you say, if you can't talk about it, I understand it. When you say we, who is we?
Well, anytime you make a decision, right, it's collectively as an organization, there's a lot of people involved, right? It's not like it's like when the offensive coordinator or the defensive coordinator, when they call a play on Sunday, it's not like they're shooting from the hip and they're like, I'm just going to run this play, even though you haven't practiced it, you haven't talked about it, you haven't watched it on film. Like, you go through every scenario with the organization, and it's the same thing in roster building. It's like you're going through, your free agency stuff, you're going through trade proposals, you're going through draft prep, and you talk internally and you meet, and you come up with scenarios. All right, we can do A, we can do B, we can do C, and as a team, and I think I said this at the press conference after we made the move. It's like we collectively we made a decision to do this, and that's what we did.
Yeah, and I think one of the worst things on draft night is the camera inside the office. I don't know why that's approved. I'd never have that happen.
Content, Joe. Everything's content, baby.
Obviously, we saw the reaction that Mike Vrabel had. How much discussion did you have with Mike about what was going down? How much headway did Mike know that was happening draft night? Because his reaction, John, was really telling.
Yeah, again, I would just say we collectively we made the decision that we made, and that's a group decision.
And don't hate me for these, because I got to ask.
You know what I thought about doing? We should have staged I don't know that I'm on camera though.
You are.
Oh, okay. I could have been Jesse Ventura and just like WWF and got up and slammed my headphones and tried to body slam Chase McCabe and then walk.
Oh God, it would be
that would actually be great.
And again, if you can't talk about it, I understand it, but we got to ask. That Sunday in Philadelphia when AJ had the big day and everything, you were let go 2 days later.
Yep.
Did you have any warning, John? Did you have any idea that was happening? because we didn't.
No, I don't think anybody does. Like, it is what it is. And again, I can't say enough of how grateful I am for Amy and the opportunity she gave me. And I know that was probably a hard decision for her. And I respect her for the decision that she made. It was a bold decision, and she made it. And I'm extremely grateful and proud of everything that she did for me and my family in my time here. We had a great relationship, and they made a collective decision to go a different direction, and that's the decision they made.
Do you think, when I listen to you say that, and, obviously I've been critical of decisions she's made. I was critical of decisions you made sometimes. I praise the ones I agree with and all of that. That's part of the job. Do you think people realize how much she truly cares about that franchise and that team and now this city? Because I do think she does. I mean, she wouldn't be
There's
doing
no
this.
doubt.
Right.
She loves the team. I mean, it's been in her family for forever, right?
Yeah.
And there's nothing more than, and I'm not trying to speak for her. It's just, I think that she wants to bring a championship to this city and to this state. And she cares about it. She really, really cares about it. And I certainly felt that in my time there. And I was extremely appreciative of her passion to chase greatness.
I don't want to go through the whole evaluation process of what you saw in Traylon and all of that. I mean, obviously you thought he was going to be good. Should injuries be held?
Well, when you take them, Chase, you don't think they're not going to be good.
Right. 100%. Yeah. I mean, you knew.
Let's take this guy. I think he's going to stink.
But like, should injuries? They're a part of the game. It's a violent sport.
It
And
is.
unfortunately, he has battled that since he walked through the door.
Yep.
Should that be held against him and make him labeled a bust? Because sometimes you can't control that.
Yeah, that's a great question. You can't control injuries. That's the one thing. There's two things in professional football that, from a player standpoint, that absolutely suck. And that's losing and getting hurt. And you can count on both of those are going to happen if you play in the NFL. You're going to lose at some point, and you're probably going to get hurt. And it's just unfortunate for Traylon because he's a great guy. Yeah. He works extremely hard, or he worked extremely hard, leading up when we drafted him. I texted him the other day after he got let go and said, "Hey, I still believe in you. God's got you. Keep grinding." And because that's hard, right? When those were some of the things those were the worst times of my job.
Yeah.
Was when you had to move on from certain players and you have to have that discussion with them. So I wish him nothing but the best, but you're right. Injuries, you can't predict them.
Sure.
We took Jeffrey, and he had just had a knee injury, and Jeffrey's gone on to be a pretty dang good football player. And you don't have a crystal ball to know kind of where that's going to land. And it's certainly unfortunate for him that it just seems to has been a reoccurring thing so far in his career.
We'll revisit that because there's still a lot more about that I want to ask. Don't hate me again, John. I got to ask.
You're like you're wielding. Did y'all draw straws? No, wield the knife.
I told you. Look,
what's the old ABC reporter Sam Donaldson who just the game? Hey, you come back from Philadelphia. Did you get called to the office to be let go? Did you get a text? You're like, oh, did you have any idea this was happening? Because you guys were in first place.
I just answered that, Joe.
I know. You guys were in first place. I mean, we were like, what is this happening? I just don't know, like, when that Tuesday, were you like, were you lost? Were you in a fog? I've never been fired. Like, so I don't know. And we were all like, what the hell's going on?
Well, that's kind of what I thought, but the decision was made. So, I was in my office and I had the talk and I said my goodbyes to certain people and then I went home.
And
I didn't go to Cracker Barrel or Waffle House.
Right. And you go home. Were you your reaction. I mean, because again, you guys were in first place. You had just been the number 1 seed in 21. There was a lot of, again, I texted Chase the day it happened. I'm like, what the hell's happening here?
Oh, I was on the air.
These were thoughts we had. I can only imagine what thoughts you had when that Wednesday rolls around and you're not at St. Thomas Sports Park.
Yeah, I don't really remember what I did. I mean, I probably watched the Today Show or news or something. I think you're still in a fog. You know, it's
Yeah.
I can only imagine. I try to put myself in the player's shoes. You know, when they've practiced and gone through all the stuff, and then you tell them you can't play for this team anymore, and then it's like, all right, well, what's next? You know, what do you do next? And at kind of where my head was at was like, what's going to be next? And I think the first thing that I wanted to do was kind of recenter myself with my family, because all of those jobs, you know, head coach position, I mean, all of the NFL is a very demanding league, and your family sacrifices. There's a lot of benefits. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of blessings. There's financial blessings. There's notoriety. There's all that. But I can't tell you how many lacrosse games I missed, how many soccer games I missed, how many. And even though I would tell, you know, my staff, like, if you miss something that your kid's supposed to perform at, especially in the spring, right, then I'm going to be upset. And I was saying one thing, but I was doing something different, right? And my girls just kind of chalked it up. Well, that's part of the game. You know, that's something. So I wasn't as present as I should have been. And then when you start to, when you have success, which we did, you know, we were winning, then the pressure starts. And it's a lot of internal pressure, you know, that I put on myself.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, Joe, you and I were catching up before about, you know, mental health. I wouldn't say I was in a mental health crisis, but like there was a lot of stuff that I started to bring home work-wise that kept my head spinning, and I wasn't present even when I was home.
Right.
And that wasn't good. And I credit my wife for, you know, loving me unconditionally and being there for me, supportive, and really helping me transition after it went down to get back to some degree of normalcy, you know. Not that anything's normal in this world, you know.
Right. Well, I will tell you,
crazy.
Bob Odenkirk, the actor, was asked recently, are you jealous of anybody? And he said, I'm jealous of those who still have kids at home. And I was like, man, that's powerful. And it's what you're talking about. I mean, when I would miss my son's event for work, I was devastated. I can only imagine in your position with you two girls missing that. You don't get it back, John, and you know this.
Yeah, I mean, when we moved here in 16, I think my oldest, she was in elementary school, like 4th, 5th grade, somewhere in there, and then like I blink and she's graduating, and it's just like, whoa,
Yeah,
where'd it go? Like I wasn't there for a lot of it, you know. And again, that's a credit to my wife for, you know, she wasn't a single parent, but a lot of times she probably felt like she was a single parent because she was doing everything. And I would be frustrated at things when I came home around the house that weren't done, and I had neglected to think that she had ran this kid to dance at 6 o'clock and then went back and picked her up at 8:30. Meanwhile, having my other one do something that it's a constant mom shuttle, right? There's a lot of moms in this city that just they're shuttling kids,
Right.
and they deal with a lot of stuff every single day. And I didn't really help with much of that, you know. I took care of all the financials, but like they're doing all of the basically raising the kids. So, yeah, I feel like it was. I think it was. You know, it's unfortunate that you know, you brought up earlier that I'm not at a training camp right now, and I've had a couple opportunities to interview since then, and I think it's really it's really more of a God thing, because I am extremely, when I'm doing something, and I know that when I get back in, or if I get back in, like I know how I'm gonna do it. There's a lot of things I'll do the same, and there's some things I'll do different, but there's going to be something I got to give up with that. And I don't think he was ready for me to kind of leave my family again, so.
Former Titans GM John Robinson is with us. We will have more unless he runs out during the break. I don't know if we've run him off yet or not.
slams me.
Doors open.
We will have more with John Robinson coming up next. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game. We're live at the Omni Nashville Hotel at Kitchen Notes, our show presented by the Omni Nashville Hotel. Continuing our conversation with former Titans general manager John Robinson, who has been nice enough to come and hang out with us and answer some questions, which I think so far so good.
I'm only bleeding a little bit. I just got nicked. It hadn't been a deep cut. I think I've avoided.
You haven't left yet, so
I
that's good.
haven't left yet at all. So
yeah,
thank
Joe
you
just
about that.
Joe just went to the kitchen and he got a bigger knife.
Had to come back. We have a million questions. I want to see something real quick. Why did you trade for Tannehill in 19? What did because I tell Chase often. I remember the Patriots joint practice here, and Brady just carved you guys up. I mean, and I remember Mariota's first pass was airmailed, almost went to the lake, and you and Vrabel were talking. I don't know what you're talking about. And then Tannehill goes in, and he carves up the Patriots secondary. And I'm like, that's the quarterback. What did you see in Tannehill in 19? Because that's the second best quarterback that's ever been in the city. What did you see in him?
I mean, I liked what he I mean, he didn't win a ton in Miami, but I liked that he was mobile. He had a good arm. From what I remember, he was extremely intelligent. He looked like he made good decisions with the football. And we were just trying to progressively improve the backup position because the previous 2 years we had Castle, who I love Cass, and Cass was great for Marcus. And then we went with Blaine Gabbert. And then Tannehill, that kind of situation came up. And I thought, well, here's a guy that started a lot of games and he's won games. And Marcus had some injuries, particularly towards the end of the season. And having somebody that can go in there where we felt like we had a chance to continue to run until Marcus got back healthy. That was at least the initial intent. And then, the move was made and then Ryan took over and, he did the rest. But it was a credit to Tannehill because, when you're a starter for a team and then, you're going to this, quote unquote backup role, you got to be accepting of that. So, I credit Ryan for being very mentally in a good spot to accept that role potentially at that point in his career. And then whatever happens. So at the end of the day, it worked out for both parties. He was a great teammate. He was a great quarterback for us while he was here. And I know he's a great father and dad. I still see him some. Our kids go to the same school, so he's doing good.
Is that a prime example? Because you've seen it, like Sam Darnold, for instance, is an example of a guy that clearly needed a fresh start. Got a couple, was with the right coach, the right offense. Art Smith and Ryan seem to really have a good connection.
Yep.
That it's just you're taking a flyer on a guy, but he's in the right situation and gets that reset. Why do we see that so much? I mean, is that just because it's truly like a guy may just be in the wrong system that just doesn't work for him, or is it more than that?
I mean, I think Baker Mayfield's another example down in Tampa. I mean, I think there's so much about the quarterback position that some guys coming from college to the NFL are maybe a little more ready than others. That's no different than any other position. But for the quarterback position specifically, you're going to be the face of the team probably. And there's a lot that goes into that.
Yeah.
From a, just perception standpoint. But the most important thing is what you do on the field, right? And how can you motion and shift the offense to try to give yourself a tell of what the defense is going to do? Tom was the best at that, I thought. He would change his cadence. He would motion a guy across, and all he needed was a linebacker or a safety to flinch one way or the other when he went, and he knew exactly what the defense was going to do. He would get everybody on the same page, get us in the right play in New England, and he would run it, and then he was a ninja. He would friggin' slice you up. So I think when you're making that transition as a young quarterback coming from college, knowing all of those tricks of the trade of how to get answers to the test before the ball is snapped, get the offense in the right play, and then when the ball is snapped, see how it unfolds, feel where the pressure is coming from, not panic, be able to find the guy who's open and deliver an accurate pass.
Whew.
It's easy for me to say
Yeah,
and say
right.
that,
Yeah.
but you've got violent 300-pound dudes coming to break you in half, and you've really got about 2.5 seconds once the ball is snapped to do all that. And like, that's a lot of pressure on, a 20, 21-year-old guy who's taking his first snaps in the league. So I think in Baker's case and in Sam's case, they've had more time on task, right? Now they're a little more comfortable with the pre-snap ID, with getting the guys on the same page, with anticipating pressure, knowing if I've got to move here or slide there to get myself in position to do my job. So I think time on task with those guys that you mentioned, Sam and Baker particularly, has certainly bode well for them in their careers.
I love offensive linemen in 18 and 19.
No.
I watched Isaiah Wilson at Georgia. I would have picked him in 2020. At what moment, John, did you think to yourself and maybe to Vrabel, like, we got a problem here with Isaiah Wilson? Did Sam Pittman lie to you? I don't say that as a joke because
he wants to fight Sam Pittman.
What the hell happened? And when did you realize we got a problem with Isaiah Wilson?
Yeah, Joe, again, you're wielding the knife again. I won't get into all the details on that one. Just say that that was a COVID year, right? Yeah. And I think that it got shut down on us in mid-March.
Right.
And it's not an excuse. At the end of the day, it's my job to pick the right guy. And we weren't able to kind of do our full process. And to liken it to a T-ball game, like I don't even know if I hit the tee. Sometimes there's a T-ball game, the kids will swing, hit the tee, and then the ball falls down. I don't even think I hit the tee on that one. So,
but he was great at Georgia. I watched him. I was like, I would have picked him. I think it was a great pick. What happened afterwards? That's why I would have never do your job. I'm not doing that. You can't. Yeah. Is that one that keeps you up? Like,
there was a lot. There was stuff with that one that, again, that I can't get into details on, but yeah, it was. It's like the how do I frame this? I guess they have those dating apps now where they have the picture of somebody and you click on it. I've never been on one. I wouldn't know how to go on one. I don't want to go on one. I love my wife. And it's like I picked the dating app and I thought this was showing up and
the person didn't match the picture.
It
was kind of weird.
Yes. The wrong person showed up.
Right.
Did you? I'm not saying you still talk to him, but is it one of those?
No.
You just talk to him. Is it one of those like, if he would have been? Because I tell people like, that was a pick. He was fantastic at Georgia. He was great at Georgia.
There's a lot of guys like that, just for whatever reason, like it just doesn't work out. And like that one, to your point, Joe, I mean, obviously we picked him. We thought it was going to, kind of be a good match for us, and ended up not.
Let me ask you this. When I look at, and there are thousands of examples in the history of the NFL of a guy that you think is a sure thing and he's not, for whatever reason, whether it's ability, injury, doesn't love the game. Does the league, and I go to a specific point of like realizing how hard it is to make that transition from being the guy in college and doing no wrong and being told how great you are to go into the NFL where you're going to get your ass kicked, each Sunday. Does the league do a good enough job? Is there something more they can do to truly prepare these guys? We're talking about mental health for what being in the NFL is like.
I mean, there's a ton of programs, sure, that they have out there. I mean, Kirby said it, I think, a couple weeks ago at the SEC things. Like, I don't know how much guys want to be coached hard anymore.
Right.
It's like, I mean, when I came up in my position coaching college, he threatened the whole D-line one time that he was going to take our scholarships, our beds. We were going to have to live in a tent. And I'm like,
and he was serious.
I was like, all right, well, I guess we better pick it up here, guys.
Right.
I don't think you can do that now. It's it's changed. The game changed. Even like when I got here, and it certainly changed from when I started with the Patriots back in 01 or 02, whatever year that was. It even changed from 16 to, my last couple of years in Tennessee. It was just players were a little different. It was just different. And I think you can have, Chase, as many programs in place as you want. The hardest thing I think to measure as a scout and as an evaluator is, can they mentally handle what's going to be put on them from a football knowledge standpoint? Can they mentally go do their job? When all the bullets are flying, can they go execute what you're going to ask them to do? And do they have the heart and the grit and the determination that when it gets hard, that they'll push through it and not cave? Like that, the mental you can figure out a little bit more because you can put them through some exercises, but the heart is, you can't measure that. There's really, you can try to find it. We always try to find examples throughout their career of things they've overcome or what's the hardest thing you've ever gone through. But until you're in the pro game, like,
You don't
you
know.
don't really know.
Yesterday, I walked into the Kevin Byard Strength and Conditioning Center
KB.
at MTSU. There has been some bad moments as a GM, some really good moments. You took Kevin Byard, I think, in the third round.
Yep.
He did not go to a combine. He had a pro day over at TSU. When you hit on something like that, and he's a good dude off the field,
Great guy.
that's got to be so rewarding because he's a hell of a player, and he's just everything. He's earned everything. What did you see in Byard that nobody else saw?
Well, the first thing is, like, you don't stumble into 19 interceptions. Like, he had an insane amount of production taking the football away. And, I think for the safety position, you've got guys like, Ronnie Lott, who was like a big hitter, right? And then you've got other guys who just get the guy on the ground so you can line up and play again. I don't think KB was a big hitter, but he got the guy on the ground most of the time so that we could line up and play defense. He did the same thing in middle. And like, he was extremely cerebral. Like, we went and met with him, and like, he took us through, I think they played Alabama, and we put the tape on, and he rolled through every single call and every single check on every single play. So you could see the safety position is a lot like the quarterback position. I went through that a while ago about everything they've got to see. If the safety position, if they can see and understand and digest what the other 10 dudes in front of them are doing, and then they make everybody right? It's like the quarterback. It's like the receiver might not be exactly where he's supposed to be, but I'm going to put the ball where I know he can make a play.
Mm-hmm.
The safety position is similar, like where how everything is supposed to fit, where everything's supposed to fit. And if somebody's out of position in a spot, I can make up for it and help the defense by making a play. And KB was very cerebral that way, and just how he understood the game, not from his job standpoint, but really from a peripheral and almost a 30,000 foot view standpoint, where it slows down for you. And then you can just play, because he was really, I was super, and they had their first child, and he texted me. I don't know how long he had been born, or he called me. It was in 9:30 at night. He goes, "Hey, J-Rob, I just had my first child," and I was like,
Nice.
I was like, "That's really cool. That's really cool." And his kids go to FRA, where my kids go, and
Great school.
yeah, he's
Proud alum right here.
there. You go. So he's a good one. He's a good one. Really fortunate to get him.
That's good. I like that.
We will have more with John Robinson coming up next, if that's cool.
Yeah, I got time.
Yeah, cool. We will do more with J-Rob coming up next here on Chasing Big Joe 102.5 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game, live at the Omni Nashville Hotel at Kitchen Notes, continuing our conversation with former Titans general manager John Robinson.
Does somebody have a key for these handcuffs to let me out whenever?
No, we don't. You got to be Houdini to get all that goes on.
Tommy on Twitter asked if we can make you a regular. I don't know if you'd want to do that or not, but
Well, at least, Tommy, I'm somewhat entertaining. I mean, I got that going for me, I guess.
We've enjoyed this. There's one thing, and look, there were a lot of good. People don't always remember that for some reason, but there's a guy playing in Baltimore right now that's going to have a gold jacket on one day that you guys drafted in Derrick Henry. We mentioned KB, Jack Conklin, who I thought was a tremendous pick. Jeffrey Simmons, who's still with the Titans.
Traded for DeMarco Murray right out of the gate.
Yeah, DeMarco Murray. My favorite, Floyd's, I think the move he loved the most is when you traded Dorial Green Beckham for
Dennis Kelly.
I mean, and how important Dennis Kelly was. So
everybody wanted to put a concrete, because I think Dorial was the leading receiver the year before for the Titans.
You may be right.
And I think everybody wanted a cinder block on my foot and me at the bottom of the Cumberland. Ended up working out for us.
Oh, that's good. We talk about the other ones. We had to bring up Farley in 21.
Yep.
Hell of a play at Virginia Tech, had the back injury. What went wrong there?
Yeah, again, I think it's another unfortunate. I don't want to say it's the same as Traylon, but like he had a knee injury, and then I was gone, and then the unfortunate thing happened with his father and the home explosion. And I think like fans are fans, and I love them, but when you're a player in the NFL or you're a coach in the NFL, like it's not like it's Madden and those guys are just figures on a screen.
Right.
They have lives too. So I think, the injury stuff and then I can't even imagine dealing with losing I lost my dad 3 months ago. But losing them like that is just, that has a effect on you mentally. And then the grind, because he had an injury, he had a knee injury in college, if my memory's right. And then he had the back injury. Then he had another. So I think the injury thing kind of got him, but he's a player that we thought that had this supreme talent that had slipped some, and we were going to be able to get, what was projected at one time to be a top 10 player, kind of like Jeffrey, and at a discounted rate in the 20s, I think is where we were picking. And at the end of the day, it ended up, sometimes it works on those guys, sometimes it doesn't. And unfortunately, in Caleb's situation with us, when I was with the Titans, it didn't work.
Hitting on one of the, obviously, the successes, I don't think everybody knew Derrick Henry was a good running back coming out of Alabama. You guys had DeMarco Murray. He was going to come in and essentially be that number 2 guy. Like, could you wrap your head around the fact that he became what he became and this freak of nature, and like even at his age now, look at what he did in Baltimore last year, that it went to that point of this guy's different. Like you can, you hear that phrase all the time. I think Derrick truly is just built different, and that's why his career has been able to go the way that it has.
Yeah, and he's unlike a lot of runners, right? Because most runners are they're shorter in stature, right? They can be bigger. I mean, Jerome Bettis was a big guy.
Yeah. He's built like a D lineman,
but he was shorter. I mean, Derrick was tall, and he's got longer legs, so you gotta build up a little bit. And credit to the coaching staff. We were running some gap scheme stuff, and then we started running more zone stuff with Derrick, and it really suited him well, where we could kind of get him going. And then he has great vision. He could find the lane on the backside and bend it back. And then for a guy his size, you wouldn't expect him to be able to outrun people who are smaller than him and supposedly faster than him. But like once it gets rolling, like you can't catch him. And if you do, he's going to stiff arm you and plant you into the dirt. And I think it's a testament to mainly to Derrick, right? God gave him a special set of gifts, and he works extremely hard. He loves football. He's a great teammate. And I wish him nothing but the best. And if he does get in Canton, hopefully I get an invite to sit in section 300 at the stadium.
I don't know if you do this. I know as a fan, I do the what if game of the game against the Bengals. He came back from the injury, but he clearly wasn't 100%. Like he was not the Derek that we ended up seeing the next year. Do you ever think like if he's full bore, you guys win that game running away?
I mean, you don't know. Like, I mean, you could play revisionist history
All
of
day.
everything with everything, and had that happened, had this happened,
Sure.
there's a lot of things that could be different. Had the Patriots not taken a chance on me as a linebackers coach at Nicholls State, I would have never probably ascended to where I got to. I mean, everything happens for a reason. It's in God's plan, and he's made his mark on this league. That's for sure.
Would you like to? Do you talk to Rand Carthon?
We texted when he first got here, but I never really knew Rand. We didn't really kind of. I think he was more on the pro side than the college side. So I don't really know him.
Would you like to sit down with him now? I mean, I'm not. He's not coming in the side door. Hey, John, I'm here today. But would you like the opportunity just to sit down? I'm not compare notes, but just maybe compare notes.
Yeah. Again, I don't know. Like, what are we gonna do? I mean, we can sit there and chop it up if he wanted to talk. Like, that's fine. Like, all I know, he's a great guy. It's didn't work out for him. Wish him nothing but the best on his future. But if I can help him, I try to do that now. I'm consulting with a sports agency group, and usually in December, we rep several executives and coaches, and I try to just talk through what I did and things on the interview process. We had a seminar this summer, and I told them, all of them. There's probably 50 there, and I said, I get joy now out of giving back to the game. The game was great to me and my family. I get so much joy out of giving back to you guys to help you in your career. And some of it's young executives, it's young coaches. I say that like I'll be 50 next year. It's hard to believe, but seeing those guys succeed. I do the same thing with draft prospects, the ones that choose our agency group. I put those guys through what the combine's going to be like, what 30 visits is going to be like. I watch film with them, so that when they walk into a room, whether it's at a team's facility or it's at the combine, for them to feel comfortable, for them to feel confident, be themselves, but be able to answer every question that the teams are going to ask them. And I get so much joy out of when I get a text from Brock Bowers that says, I just crushed that interview. Thank you so much.
That's
or
good.
Whoever. It's like, thank you so much for going through that for me. That was awesome. Like, I felt like I nailed it. That makes me feel good because now I'm giving back to the game. I'm giving back to the game for somebody to kind of hopefully springboard their career.
One thing that I wanted to ask, I mean, now that, you talked about that a little bit of what you're doing now and everything, you have had some interviews for GM jobs. Do you think that if it's the right fit, that's what you want to do? Do you want to do some media stuff? You did Good Morning Football with the NFL Network and did a great job. I mean, what do you think is next for you?
I asked for the camera at Good Morning Football that like takes weight off. I think they put the one
Does it exist? Let us
weight.
know.
I don't know, Chase. That's a great question. I think I interviewed with New York and Jacksonville this past cycle. I think if the right situation, comes along and that's what the good Lord feels and leads me to do, then I would do that. And if it's the media thing, is it the podcast? I feel like everybody's got a podcast now. I think I may try to dabble in that and have some GMs on and just let people get to know them as people. Because I think that's important. Everybody's fantasy football is huge now, right? Everybody has their fantasy football team, and I'm the GM of my fantasy football, and social media has created this own monster where everybody thinks that they can just go be a GM somewhere There's a lot of stuff that come. I used to say all the time, I generally manage a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
That's what I do. So have those guys kind of tell their story of where they came from, where they got to, and just have fans kind of get to know them as dudes, away from the chair that they sit in. So I don't know. We'll kind of see where it goes, and I'm appreciative that I'm still around the game. Game's been a part of my life for a long time, and to still be around that, and somewhat of an evaluation piece with the agency group and the giving back piece with the, advisory stuff for coaches and players, and then, some storytelling stuff on podcasts. That'd be pretty cool.
When you look, I'm sorry, Chase. When you look back at your time in Tennessee, what was your favorite moment? I tell you, that Ravens playoff victory and the Patriots, pretty damn special.
How
Those
about that night in Kansas City with Big Joe?
I think probably those two games. I think the Raven one was special in its own way, because we weren't supposed to beat those guys,
Right.
from all of the experts, and it was loud. Now, I mean, I was in the press box and I could hear it, and for us to do it the way we did it, and pull that one off was really cool. But the coolest for me probably was the week before in New England, given that I had started my career there, and the fact that we had added Logan Ryan, who, I was in New England when we drafted Logan. I really liked Logan, and I thought Logan would help us, and we brought him here, and he did.
Yeah.
And Logan was a great player for us in Tennessee, and for him to kind of in the reign of 12 there in New England with that pick, that was a really, really probably the most special for me.
What was so entertaining about that is Vrabel out Belichicking Belichick.
Yeah, with the with the false starts by Wesley Woodyard. That was pretty slick. Drain the clock. We were trying to milk that baby down.
Yeah.
Don't give it back to Tom too quick, because he's done it before.
You said earlier, as we wrap this up, and thank you again for doing this.
I did a whole hour.
You did.
Right.
You did.
Didn't
You
move.
did more than you had agreed to. We appreciate that. Really?
Somebody hung up on us.
Yeah.
Not me.
You said earlier that if you got another chance, you do some things the same and some things differently. Can you really answer that question now, or is it truly based on the position, the job that you walk, the place that you walk into, to truly know what you would need to do differently?
Yeah, that's a great question, Chase. And I think it's the latter. I think you really have to know, you got to know the building, you got to know the field, you got to know how things are operating, you got to know the systems, and you want to slowly implement your systems. You don't want to just come in here and just like, we're going to scrap everything, we're going to do it my way. You're trying to create buy-in. This word culture gets thrown around all the time. It's like culture. Well, I don't think you can really start a culture by just like scrapping everything. You've got to look, you got to evaluate, you got to assess of what pieces do we have on the team, in the building, with the staff. Like who do you think can do it the way that you think your vision is for what you want it to look like? And there's a lot of people in the building, whatever building you go to, that will get on board with you and do it the way that you think it should look like. So I don't think you can just say, well, I would do this and I would do this and I would do that. I think you got to give time to assess the whole situation holistically.
John, thanks so much for doing this, man. That was D-Mace, by the way, apparently, that tried to hang up on us. So thanks, Derek. Appreciate that. But again, thank you for your time.
Yeah,
we've always enjoyed the relationship and getting to know you, and obviously Floyd, I think, helped a lot of that.
Floyd was a man.
We miss Floyd.
Well, I always say this, when I was in TV, you were the GM. We always talked about high school football. So I love the fact that you thought high school football in Middle Tennessee was important. In fact, I think your first event you did was with me in Murfreesboro at a high school football event.
Yeah.
You had just gotten to town. So thank you for your love for high school. Chase and I love high school football. It wasn't just lip service with you. You love high school football in Middle Tennessee. So thank you for that.
Purest form of the sport.
Absolutely.
High school football, and it's really the starting point for a lot of careers, whether you're playing or coaching or whatever it may be.
Well, we hope we can do this down the road. This is awesome.
We'll see. We'll see, Chase. We'll see.
Text me when Joe's not here.
What did Vrabel say when we said that one time? I don't think he had it ready. There you go. Very
That's
Vrabel.
great.
John, thanks so much.
Enjoyed hanging with you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. That is going to do it for us. We turn things over to DVD next.
Yeah, as we believe every show, our mental health message all the time to our guys out there. If you are struggling, know on your cell phone, you can call or text 988. Somebody's always there for you. We always ask, John was talking about this earlier, mental health is so important to everybody. So please talk to someone. It'll change everything. Know that we love you. More importantly, more than anything else in this world, God loves you.
Amen to that. Peace, love.